say there's no change in control, and it goes on to that. Then on page 18 of the prospectus, the following is stated, which is meeting the exchange control regulations. It says here, all share certificates issued to non-residents of South Africa will be endorsed non-resident in accordance with the exchange control regulations of South Africa. So here we have a situation where, quite contrary, as a matter of fact, to the state's position, where I've gone out of my way to conceal my involvement in the trusts. In fact, the opposite is true. I signed off on the statement. BOE NatWest knew fully what my interest in the trust was. It was required to be disclosed. It was disclosed. It was submitted to the Reserve Bank, and the Reserve Bank approved the prospectus. So as far as disclosure is concerned, I think it is very difficult for the state to seriously argue, and for SARS, because if what SARS are really doing is they're coming to me and saying, King, we investigated you much later, after the listing, once the money had been made and the share price went up, when you disinvested your shares. That you denied all knowledge of it. And I would have thought that SAR's starting point, if they were doing an investigation of a listed company that had done so well, would be to look at the prospectus. Just in terms of basic putting good information together. And not only do we have this information in the prospectus, but for the next couple of following years, while my trust still remain a substantial, albeit declining shareholder, the annual report of the company requires similar disclosure. So if one goes to the annual report of Specialised Outsourcing, you will see that every single year it said DC King, beneficiary of Caledonian Trust, has this interest through the trust. So not only was it disclosed in the prospectus, but it was fully disclosed in the annual report for the next couple of years until such time as Ben Nevis has sold his shares. So the argument being put forward by the state that I've done everything I possibly can to conceal my interest in the trust really just doesn't stack up. The second part of the argument on the specialised outsourcing matter is that SARS have argued that the amount in question is the gains of revenue, and I've argued the capital gains for the trusts. SAR's basis for arguing the revenue is that I've got a track record as a businessman in South Africa of establishing businesses, selling them, listing them, and moving on. So I think the term that they've used is serial entrepreneur. Now, if one looks at the court papers that SARS have put in place, you will see that SARS have argued before the court that one of the strongest points in terms of them determining it was revenue as opposed to capital is that I knew, DC King knew at the time of listing that this thing was going to become worth billions. So I somehow took this business to the market at a market cap of 50-odd million rand, and somehow I was aware that it would become worth billions of rand overnight. That's the argument. I want to try and disprove that as well by telling you why that could not have been the case. If you go back to the 29th of October 1997, which is the day in which Specialised Outsourcing was listed, and you check what was happening in the financial markets at that point in time, you will find out that the Hang Seng, I think the day before, or a couple of days before, had the biggest crash in the history of the Hang Seng. The markets were in absolute turmoil during October 1997, and in fact, BOE NatWest, who were the sponsoring board, decided not to go ahead with the listing of Specialised Outsourcing. The market conditions were so bad that BOE said we're going to pull the plug on the listing, and we would like to now delay it till the end of the first quarter of 1998. I went back to BOE and I said to BOE, I really wanted the listing to go ahead. I understood that from their perspective, the staggering profits that their private client base had been enjoying through the number of previous successful listings, you had Peregrine, you had Africa Jewelling, who were all doing very, very well. The staggering profits might not be there. But I was really determined to go ahead and still to list, even in what was a dramatic financial market climate. Really, the conditions were absolutely terrible. BOE still refused. And what I did was I went along to visit Tom Borden. Tom Borden at that time was the CEO of BOE NatWest. And I went down to his house a couple of days before the listing. I said, Tom, I really, really want this listing to go ahead. business of managing financial risk. We are risk managers. The volatility in the marketplace is, in fact, it's a good financial condition for us. I do understand that the share price might not perform on the day of listing, but I really, really want this listing to go ahead. And in fact, I managed to get Nick Davis, who is now at Billiton, to speak to him, and I get 5 points before him. And through a level of persuasion between myself and some of the other directors, we were able to convince BOE to go ahead with the listing and not pull the plug on it. In the day before the listing, I got the staff together and said to them, because they had all bought shares from the listing at 1920 in terms of the private placement, and I just explained to them and said, look, guys, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It might list at 1 rand, it might go to 80 cents. I really get no idea how it's going to perform. The markets are bad, but don't worry, the business is good, the business is sound, and difficult financial market conditions are good for our business. So we're going to go ahead with the listing, but please, if you've borrowed money to buy the shares at 1.20 rand and the shares are undervalued, rather come and speak to me. I'll find a way of carrying you your borrowing costs. But please don't panic, don't sell your shares. The business is in good shape, let's hang in there. And Tom Boardman certainly will confirm I had that conversation with him. And if you want to check the market conditions in 1997, you will see that there's no possibility of me having been in a position in 1997 when we listed that business to have any idea whether it was going to even trade at the level at which we listed. No idea. So for SARS to come and say I somehow managed to divine the fact that in the middle of a market crash, that market crash would change, and somehow the share price would become, and it got to P of 247.9, and it got to such a ridiculous level. And I say ridiculous in my own words in terms of what I think is ridiculous. I remember Barry Adams came to me one time when the share price had gone from 1.20 to, let's say, up to 89. And Barry Adams, we were flying over on a trip. I remember going to Augusta, and Barry said to me, you know, Dave, I think the share price is going to turn around. I said, Barry, you've got to be kidding me. So do you know what the current share price for this business? The business was doing well. Profit was growing, we were growing at 700%. It was a great business model. It was a unique business model. It was doing really well. But at that level of market cap, when I was looking at the market at that time, if my trust had sold the shares that they had in specialised outsourcing, we could have bought at that time Murray & Roberts, Pick n Pay, and I think possibly Blue Circle. I mean, that is just how, I think Murray & Roberts' market cap was about 800 million. I think Pick n Pay was 1.2 billion. I mean, we could actually take in this business and actually bought real businesses. Real businesses. So as much as Barry is saying we've got to turn around, as Barry, life just doesn't work that way. The markets were overpricing. I think the specialized outsourcing, the business was doing very well, but the P multiples were ridiculous. And it was the same at that time for Peregrine, for Real Africa Duraling. I can't remember which other players were out there at the time, but there was Decillion, I think, might have been out there at the same time. And they were all doing incredibly well, but the P's were very, very high. The market was just in a ridiculous condition. My view on the markets, which certainly affects how I would treat share price, is I have never ever believed in the fair value of a share. I don't believe in it. I know the theory is you can fair value a share. I don't believe in it. I think the fair value of a share to me is something that moves through in the way up in the bull market, and it moves through in the way down in the bear market. It's not a useful number. You can complain you're below fair market, but really fair market value is nothing. But what it was clear to me is on any basis of fairly measuring a share value, I felt that specialised outsourcing was overvalued. I felt it was overvalued at 20 rand. I felt it was overvalued at 30 rand, at 40 rand, at 50 rand. We had institutions who wouldn't buy shares at listing at 1.20 who come along and bought shares at 42 rand. And so I'm going to